Welcome to the Inner Chosen. And let me ask you something that's going to stick with you for the rest of this video. Have you ever heard a lyric that sounded totally innocent until your brain suddenly connected the dots and you went, wait, did they really mean that? If that's ever happened to you, you're in the right place, because today you're not just here to be entertained. You're here to level up. By the end of this video, you'll understand how artists hide bold messages in plain sight, how wordplay manipulates emotion, and why certain lines hit you like a secret you weren't supposed to discover. So settle in, stay sharp, and welcome again to the Inner Chosen. You're about to learn a lot more than you expected. You know that split second when you're listening casually, totally relaxed, and then one line lands so sharply that your whole face changes. It's like your brain stops the music just to double-check what it heard. Your eyes widen. You laugh a little out of disbelief. And suddenly you're thinking, no way, they didn't just say that. What makes it even stronger is how smooth the setup usually is. The lyrics glide along in a normal rhythm, sounding harmless, even sweet. And then, boom, one phrase flips the meaning. It's not loud or messy, it's clean, precise, and that's why it hits harder. The shock isn't the words alone, it's the timing. And the real magic is the replay factor. The first time, it slips past you. The second time, you catch it. The third time, you hear it coming and you still react. That's when you realize the lyric wasn't an accident. It was planted. The artist wanted that exact moment of realization from you. This is why those lines become legendary online. People clip them, quote them, react to them because the feeling is universal. You weren't ready and the song knew it. It's the perfect trap, set with charm, triggered by attention, and delivered with confidence. So when a lyric makes you rewind instantly, that's not you being dramatic. That's good writing doing its job. It's a reminder that words can change meaning in one breath, and once you hear it clearly, you can't go back to how it sounded before. Some lyrics are basically magic tricks, and the secret is in the double meaning. They sound completely normal on the surface, like something you could say in a casual conversation, but there's a second message hiding underneath, waiting for the right listener. It's clever, it's bold, and it gets away with everything because it never has to say the quiet part out loud. The best part is how your mind does the work for them. The artist just places the words like puzzle pieces, and your imagination completes the picture. That's why it feels personal, because you're not just hearing the lyric, you're interpreting it, and suddenly you're like, oh, I get it. That moment is the blush. Double meanings also create suspense. You don't always know which interpretation the song wants you to choose, so you hover in that tension. Is it romantic? Is it suggestive? Is it both? That uncertainty keeps you listening closer, and the closer you listen, the louder the hidden meaning becomes. And because it's layered, it stays catchy without being obvious. You can sing it in public and nobody reacts unless they understand. Then you lock eyes with someone who caught it too, and there's that silent agreement. Yeah, we heard that. It becomes a secret shared through sound. That's the genius of it. Playful but controlled. Daring but disguised. It's not just about making you blush, it's about making you feel smart for catching it. And once you start noticing double meanings, you realize they're everywhere. And the songs haven't been innocent this whole time. There's something different about a lyric when it's delivered like a secret. A whisper doesn't ask for attention, it steals it. It pulls you closer, lowers your defenses, and suddenly you're not just listening to a song, you're inside it, right? Like it's happening right beside you. The softer the delivery, the more your brain leans in to fill the space. You start catching tiny details, the way the words curl, the breath between syllables, the tension in the tone. And because you're concentrating harder, the lyric feels stronger, even if it's not loud at all. Whispered lines also feel more personal, like they're meant for one person, not an audience. That intimacy creates heat instantly. It's the difference between a sentence spoken to a crowd and the same sentence spoken straight into your ear, same words, completely different impact. And sometimes it's not even the words that do it, it's the control. That calm, confident softness that says, I don't need to shout. A whispered lyric can feel daring because it sounds like the artist knows exactly what they're doing, and they're not nervous about it. So when a quiet line hits harder than a chorus, that's not strange. It's power. Whispering turns listening into closeness, and closeness turns. Metaphors are the artist's favorite hiding place, because they let a lyric look polite while behaving completely reckless. On the surface, it's just imagery. Something about heat, waves, fruit, gravity, a late-night drive. But underneath, it's a full message that doesn't need to introduce itself. Your brain recognizes the shape of what's being suggested, even when the words never say it directly. That's why metaphors feel so smooth. They bypass your guard. Instead of naming something outright, the lyric paints it and the picture does the work. A clever metaphor can turn a basic idea into something cinematic, and the more vivid the image, the more intense the feeling. Because now you're imagining, not just listening. The most blush-worthy metaphors are the ones that sound almost too casual, like the writer is pretending it's just normal poetry. But you can feel the intention. It's a wink without the wink. You catch yourself thinking, this can't be about what it claims to be about. And once that thought arrives, the metaphor becomes impossible to ignore. And metaphors invite replay like nothing else. Each listen reveals a new angle, a new meaning, a new little detail you didn't notice. You start hearing layers, one meaning for anyone, one meaning for people paying attention, and one meaning that's clearly for someone specific. That layered design is what makes the lyric feel bold without sounding messy. So, if a metaphor makes you smirk, pause, and then suddenly go quiet, good. That's the point. It's the art of saying everything while technically saying nothing, and the best writers use it like a key that unlocks the listener's imagination on purpose. There's a certain kind of lyric that doesn't flirt, it commands. It's short, sharp, and delivered like a signature. The kind of line that makes you sit up because it sounds like the artist already knows the outcome. No pleading, no uncertainty, just a statement that lands with the confidence of someone who's never been ignored in their life. These one-liners work because they're clean. They don't explain, they don't decorate, they just hit. And that simplicity gives them power, because your mind fills in the rest of the story instantly. A confident line can create a whole scene in 2 seconds, and suddenly you're reacting to something bigger than the words themselves. What makes them dangerous is the tone behind them. The line might not even be explicit, but the delivery says it all. Calm, certain, almost amused. It sounds like the artist is smiling while they say it, and that's exactly what makes people blush. Confidence doesn't need volume, it needs control. And let's be real, confidence is contagious. When you hear a line like that, you don't just understand it, you feel it. It flips a switch, it makes the song feel like it's in charge, and you're just along for the ride, trying not to react too obviously. So when a single sentence makes you stop and stare at the wall for a second, that's not random. That's precision. The best one-liners are written to land like a dare, and whether you admit it or not, part of you loves that they had the nerve to say it. Some songs don't feel like performances. They feel like you accidentally opened a door you weren't meant to. The lyrics get so specific, so direct, that it stops sounding like a general message and starts sounding like a private exchange. And the moment that happens, your curiosity spikes because it feels real. That private conversation energy comes from little details. A name that's almost said, a time of night, a room, a rule, a promise, a petty argument, a quiet apology. The more precise the lyric is, the more it feels like you're hearing something personal. It's like the artist is letting you sit in the passenger seat while they talk to one person. And because it feels intimate, it also feels risky. You're not just hearing feelings, you're hearing boundaries being crossed, tension rising, someone losing control, someone leaning in. Even if the words are simple, the context feels loaded, and that's what makes your face heat up. It also triggers that I shouldn't be listening feeling, which is honestly the most addictive part. Your brain treats it like gossip, like a secret, like a confession. You lean closer, not because you're trying to be nosy, but because the song makes you feel like you're trusted with something. So when a lyric suddenly feels like it's meant for one person, don't ignore that. That's songwriting designed to create intimacy. It turns the listener into a witness, and being a witness to something private is exactly what makes it feel so intense. Sometimes the lyrics aren't even that wild. The delivery is what makes them dangerous. When the voice is sweet, soft, almost innocent, you expect comfort. But then the words carry a meaning that's bold, suggestive, or emotionally charged, and your brain short-circuits because the contrast is too sharp. That mismatch creates tension instantly. It's like watching someone smile while saying something that should not be said with a smile. The softness makes it feel closer, safer, almost gentle. And that's what makes the meaning hit harder, because it sneaks in under your defenses. A bright melody can do the same thing. The song can sound like sunshine, like a dance track, like something you'd play with the windows down, while the lyrics are basically a confession. That's when you realize that you've been singing along to something you did not fully process, and now you can't stop thinking about it. That this contrast also makes the lyric more memorable. When the tone and meaning pull in opposite directions, your brain pays attention. It feels surprising, even shocking, but in a stylish way. It's not chaos, it's control, and the artist is balancing sweetness and danger on purpose. So if you ever catch yourself smiling while also thinking, this is a lot, you're not alone. That's the magic of gentle delivery paired with bold words. It makes the lyric feel both innocent and guilty at the same time. And that's exactly why it stays stuck in your head. Before you go, take 1 second and choose one word that matches what this video made you feel. Something like bold, hidden, playful, heat, whisper, meaning, tension, confidence, or your own word. Now, write that one word in the comments. Just one word. Let's see what this episode awakened in you. And if you want this video to reach more people, tap YouTube's hype feature if it shows up for you and give it your support. It helps push this content out to new viewers. See you in the next one. Stay sharp and watch the lyrics.